question number 136. Now these are rapid fire sections. What is this rapid fire? Please try to understand. Rapid fire is a set of many questions given to you at one go. And they give you suddenly, because they give you in different categories, but every category has 1 to 2 parts. So when they give you all these questions, don't look at the board, please pay attention here. So when you get all these questions together, what happens? Your capturing power comes into foreplay, which we call as grasping ability. Your ability to run your mind, your ability to reason, your ability to logically organize, everything comes in. If somebody is speaking and you're paying not a bit of attention, what are you doing? You're wasting away the time. Many a time people they pretend respect, but they do not have the respect. When they have respect, they will listen to everything you say. But when they pretend respect, they will not listen to you. So what is the point of speaking to them? Many of the classes I find many students don't pay respect. They don't want to listen properly. Why? Because they don't care. They don't care for me. No, they don't care for their success. If they would care for the success, they will pick up a lot of points from here. And when you pick up points, remember, everyone is competent to educate something or the other. And if a person is well experienced, like me, they will educate you in many aspects. So it is your choice to learn that, or your choice not to learn that. So when you will learn that, you will automatically pay attention. Now when you will pay attention and you will cater to all these type of questions, you automatically will identify the different things and you will pay attention to every word. As a result, when you will answer them, after the entire thing is delivered, you will be able to recall most of them and you will be able to answer them one by one. Now pay attention here in rapid fire 1. I will give you this example and after this we will again give you a small break so that we can come up with more rapid fires. Please tell me about your academic achievements from class 8 to class 12 in case India and class 8 to present graduation in case CDSE, FCAT, INT, whatever. This can waver a little. Also tell about your favorite teacher and favorite subject and why. The teacher and subject you don't like and why. Also tell about your school and college, what you liked and what you did not like about them. In addition, also tell about the sports you participated in, your achievements are the same, the position in which you played, your favorite player, your favorite club and why you did not make sports as a career. Now carefully observe what has been given. 1, they want to know about your scores in the classes. 1. Second, they want to know your favorite teacher, worst teacher. 2. Then they also want to know about the school, college, what you like. 3. And about the sports, 4. And the position in which you played, your favorite player, your favorite club and whatever. Now actually there are 4 to 5 categories, but there are subparts of these categories which you are questioned as different questions. So if you remember the categories, or if you pick up the category, okay, I've been asked about my results from class 8 to present. Number 1, I've been asked about my teachers. Wonderful. I'm also being asked about my school, liking what college. Number 3. So moment you put it to pointers in your mind, organize it in your mind, you will be able to catch up maximum of these questions out of this rapid fire. But if you panic, so many questions, how can I remember? Or you try to repeat one question, what is it, and then the next one follows, then you forget it. And you're not calm and composed, which is a very, very important quality. You will not be able to react very well to the rapid fires. There are no special questions. They are simple questions. But they are identifying you psychologically. One more reason of giving rapid fire. Of course, the first reason is to pick up how well you capture, how will you absorb, how attentive you are, how good is your concentration. Remember, concentration is a mental trait which makes you intelligent. If you concentrate, you become more intelligent than the other. There is no one born fool, but when they do not use their concentration, they become a buffoon. They become a fool, they become an nincompoop, whatever you call it. But since you concentrate, you will be able to learn more and able to perform better. Now let's come to the questions, okay? Now, if they're asking you achievements, now you know that many of you may not have revised. What did you get in class 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th? Why not go back into your memory lanes? Go back, identify the percentage and write it down in your mind. Now imagine you have said in 9th class you got 77 and after 7 question he comes back and asks you what did you get in 9th class and you say now 79. Don't you think you're cheating? You're lying? And just because you played the silly game of telling whatever came into your mind, why don't you revise it? I'm sure if you will revise all your marks, class 8 to class 12, you will remember them appropriately. And every time you will be able to repeat the same number of marks in the same class. And you will not change the things. You don't have to do that. So in India, and if they ask you till graduation, you should remember. Sometimes they even ask you your roll numbers prominently in 10th class and 12th class or graduation to just see how sharp you are. Now, they ask you about your favorite teacher and favorite subject. Generally, you will find, this is a very good suggestion, that your favorite subject teacher will be your favorite teacher because you will score better in that also. The teacher inspires you and that is why you do better. You can say that. Similarly, they will ask the teacher and subject you don't like and why. Now, that also is there. You generally don't have any special, you should not have any disliking for any teacher specifically. But if you do, for the sake of knowledge issue or for the sake of language issue or for the sake of behavior with students wrongly, then what do? You basically are talking about that. And also tell about your school and college what you liked. When you tell about school and college what you liked and what you did not like about them, what do? You again speak up something or the other. So that you are able to relate what you liked. Now if you don't like your school, what are you showing? You're showing your disinterest. Now if you don't like what you don't like the teachers, you don't like the subject, you don't like the friends. No, I think what you don't like is some kind of structural mismanagement, like, there are sometimes in some school the railings somewhere is wrong or the chemistry lab is wrongly placed, the smell goes on or the urinals are not well catered. All these kind of small things you can say. But if you complain about education, you complain about teacher, you complain about friends, it will go against your social adaptability. This is my suggestion. Now rest, you have to analyze what specifically you want to tell. So if you have positive word life, you should remember school was not there for a 5-star stay. It was for education. So if education was delivered well in the school, you should be happy with the school. Yes, small complaints about some cycle stand or some gate or some other things can be done, but not about studies. I feel so. Now then they ask you what you liked about school and college. You can tell that because there is a difference between school and college, prominent difference. In addition, also tell about the sports you participated, what games you played, what were your achievements. You can tell that is something which you should know. The position which you played, like you played in football particularly, the position matters. In some games it is not so, like in badminton you play, that's okay. But in football you have a position, you are a right winger, you are left winger, you are playing in the defense, whatever. Then your favorite player. Now generally one more thing, if you are a left winger, you like a favorite player who will be a left winger. Or if you are a right winger, you will always like a person who is a right winger. Similarly, if you're a tennis player, you like some player which is a tennis player. That is how it falls through. Now you say I like Mike Tyson and you don't play boxing at all. It looks very contradictory to your personality. So please streamline your personality. Make it relevant, make everything sound similar, and please cut down these idiosyncrasies. Don't have a moody temperament that I like this but I do this. No, have a predictable personality, have a clear personality, easy to understand personality. Is it clear? Remember that. This is a very important tip. Favorite player, favorite club. Now, favorite club, if you're talking of football, you must be having some favorite club and favorite player also, and which you did not make. Why did not make sports as a career? Many of you belong to middle classes family. Here the biggest trouble is that going by the social system, we do not have that kind of thought process like in America, where you are going out like a gladiator trying something and suddenly becoming successful or becoming a failure. Here we have a systematized system where we generally want to go for certain education, clear competitive exam and pick a job. Right? Same thing applies here. So you can say that. Very important for you. So the moment you say that, you can, sir, I am from a simple family and I didn't want to become a liability to my parents. That is one of the reasons. And plus, whatever I have known about sports career, there are a lot of political things. So getting into organization and becoming someone like Neeraj Chopra or like Lieutenant Colonel Rajwardhan Rathore is a better option. Safe and fine. You can tell that. There's nothing wrong. Is it clear? So I hope you've got this idea. We'll go for the further rapid fires so that you can learn the art of rapid fire question papers and become better. Let's continue with more questions. Coming to question number 137. Again, this is rapid fire. What do you mean by rapid? It's another kind of rapid fire too. We have given you one sample. Now this is the second. Now what exactly is a rapid fire? As I have told you, they will give you a sequence of questions in one go, and then you are supposed to keenly listen and answer. They don't give you question by question. They will give you series of questions in one go. So now what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to keenly listen. And while you're listening, you will identify there will be 2, 3, 4 categories of questions. Now what do you mean by category? If you remember the category, the subparts of the question will also come back to you. Now for this memory exercise, you need to have confidence and one more very important, practice. Particularly sportsmen, the gym kind of people, weightlifters who are planning to join. I have a belief, it's a psychological research thing. Generally, after a certain period of time, by doing a lot of manual activities, we do not want to concentrate much and we get very tired by concentrating. Now here, if you want to become an army officer and you have been doing this activities for quite some time, this exercise is a must for you. Because if you will not do it, you will not be able to concentrate and pick up a lot of questions. Because you have not, over the period of time, you have done a basic raw activity more. I am not saying it's generalized opinion. It is a very general opinion. I am not talking of specific candidates who have been doing both the things. So if you really want to become an army officer, you need to concentrate a little on your mind and let it multiply. It is a beauty inside your brain. It's a beauty inside your brain. If you develop it, it will blossom, it will become excellent. And it is very important for you to become excellent because times ahead is not going to be very easy. It's going to be full challenge. And believe me, you have to just concentrate. I remember visiting Medanta when my father had a bypass surgery and I happened to identify Dr. Trian, one of the best heart surgeon who used to do bypass surgery. Before he walks into the operation theatre, a number of people at a small 15 minutes interval time used to enter the big operation theatre, and with absolute accuracy he used to solve one, then go to the next, then go to the next, then go to the next, and by a certain period of time he's done n number of people. Imagine the sense of concentration one has. You may believe that it's a very easy job, but it is not. It requires a concentration which everybody can develop. Before I rush this, I want to explain you one thing more. You know, when I was also a youngster, a college-going student, and I used to play a lot of games. So all the time, my mind used to run towards games other activities. So when the exams used to come and we needed to concentrate, it was a difficult exercise for us because our mind used to deviate. But then I had the determination. I had a strong determination. I went for it. I got it. And that's why this stiff thumb, strong determination. I said, no, I'm going to do it. And the moment I decided I'm going to do it with all my concentration, I did it. I was able to complete most of them. So that's what I want to tell all of you, that you need to just practice this. And believe me, after the end of exercise of a lot of rapid fires, we will create a session for you in the YouTube also to how to improve your rapid fires. This institution helps on one-to-one basis, of course, because one-to-one I read you better. I come to know, understand you better and help to analyze you better and tell your strengths and weaknesses. You know what is this physical vibes you get of a person when you are at a closer distance. That is the only additional part. Rest, most of the teaching I'm putting it in the YouTube for you. Lamilchar Academy has done a lot of efforts now. We have completed 37 years now. 37 years of existence and successful one with a number of officers already selected. So I feel these 37 years has helped us a lot. I've been at it for 30 years now. And these years, I've learned to not only interact with you, but learn from you. And thus, I've been able to mentor a lot of people. What do you mean by mentoring? Well, I have tried to help them to come upgrade their personality into a bigger and a better format. And it is possible for both boys and girls. To be very truthful, girls have done phenomenally well with the result of 95% ratio. Whereas the boys have comparatively deferred to 78 or so. Or 75, you can call it even 50% at some point of time. Because when the boys are very poor in communication, it becomes difficult. Anyway, enough gaga about ourselves, enough singing about ourselves. Let's come to the point. Rapid fire 2. Please tell about your NCC and extracurricular activities. What were your achievements? The position and responsibility you held, what you liked about it and what you did not like about it. The challenges you faced, why you were selected and why you were not selected for any special post. The challenges you faced while doing the activity, the skill you learned, what is the message you would like to give to others, which activities you enjoyed most and why, what would you propose should be compulsory activity trained to the student. Now, it's all about NCC, but it's about camps, it's about the activities, it's about your achievement, it's about your post, it is about your responsibility, it's about your challenges, it is about your learning. So you just have to be composed and remember, if you've done NCC, they're asking you about that. And they're also asking you about extracurricular activities. So both of them are gelled. So in NCC also they're talking about responsibilities and activities. In extracurricular also they're talking about responsibility and activities. So you just have to remember that. They're in NCC they're talking about challenges. In extracurricular they're talking about challenges. You have to remember that. In NCC they're asking you the posts you've done. In extracurricular, they are asking the posts you've done, like monitor, head captain, or school boy, or head boy, or class, whatever. So everything has been very rightly put forward in there. So you just have to remember, okay, this also, this also, this also, this also, and that's it. So you'll be able to answer all of these questions. Is it clear to all of you? So remember, all these questions are basically to check your attitude. Now let's break it down. About NCC, okay, what were your achievements? Of course, you must have achieved something or the other. You must have participated, come third, second, first, whatever. Then what were the responsibility? You always get carried under officer kind of thing, or you basically get senior under officer, whatever. You got it. So you have to tell about that. What you liked about it? You got an exposure to learn, to interact with people, to get small things done, to sometimes think little more than what you could have done otherwise. Then the challenges you faced, of course, there are many times while you're getting things done, people oppose you. There are many times when you are short of resources. There are many times when you have to do things at a short period of time. So you must have planned and did it. That's what you're supposed to tell. Why you were selected and why you were not selected. Now, in some times you do get not the opportunity. Now, there are some people who say that, no, sir, that was a preference, personal preference. No, come on, look at yourself. If you feel you participated well and the other got an opportunity, never mind. You must have got selected in the other thing. But when you start using this as a cribbing point, and the kind of cribbing is very poor and very ill-tuned, then what happens? It gives a very bad impression about you. It gives as if you were lacking everything and then you are blaming the world. You shouldn't do that. So never mind the skill you learned. What did you learn? Of course, in NCT you learn many things. In extracurriculars also, like in dramatics, delivery of dialogues, delivery of speeches, then in dance, the coordination, in extracurricular like organizing events, the amount of sequencing, in extracurricular organizing the school magazine or anything whichever you've done, there are n number of things you learn. There are the challenges also and you learn also. What is the message you would like to give to others? Of course, you would say that doing all such activities is very important. I always tell parents when I meet them now and they have a small child, they ask me, what should I do? I said, please wake this boy and wake this boy or a girl, whatever the case may be, and help them to be a great public speakers. Why I believe public speaking is going to help you? Because it helps you train your mouth to your thought. And once it makes you good at it, it also encourages you to learn more things, learn more thinking and more speaking, of course, both of them. So remember, that is one thing which you have to do. Which activity you enjoyed most? You will have to tell that. Which activity you enjoyed most? Well, I used to do a lot of things, portrait making, poem writing, everything. So I did everything. So the variety was there. Similarly, you must have done many things. Tell about that, and that goes specifically different. You don't have to copy that I said so, so you wrote it. You have to think yourself. What you propose should be compulsory activity. I certainly feel compulsory activity should be that a student should come up to the stage, learn something and speak and kill the fear, public fear of speech. Because there are many people who hold their things back in the mind and they suffer to the limit that after a certain period of time they become mentally disturbed. So I think that you should improve that. Number two, your experience should be not only of knowledge, it should also be of delivery. That is very important because once you give presentation, PPTs, everybody develops the skill to do that. And that's very important. So I hope you got the point. Now let's go to question number 138. Now this is again a rapid fire. So we're going to cover a few rapid fires and you will understand what are the different rapid fires all about. Please tell about your hobbies and subject of interest. Now when we talk about hobbies and interests, it's like the earlier one also. You have a lot of things. In extracurriculars it's different. Interest and hobbies is a little more deeper. It speaks of the kind of personality you have. Now for example, my hobby was playing games, outdoor and indoor. Yes. In addition, though I have already written that in sports, but I also wrote in hobbies. Second, my hobby was listening to music, writing poems, making sketches, and of course, pen pal was also there. Plus, that time I used to do that. And I used to play a lot of indoor games also, chess and other things. Plus, I was loved being creative, sometimes making some project or the other. So, all these things when I wrote there, they asked me a number of questions. Now, very important question which I want to tell you. Some people say, sir, if I'll write, then they will ask me question. They will anyways ask you question. But if you write, you at least can prepare those questions. Because otherwise you will be 0.0. You will be looking point blank. You won't be having anything. You look blank in your mind and you will have nothing much to talk to the person. And if the person asks you anything else, you don't know which domain he will ask you. So why don't you have good rich PIQ, a rich personal information questionnaire, write your details very nicely in it, and thereafter let them ask you different questions. And let them listen to what you're really saying. And then the whole game will change. Got the point? So this is how you're supposed to do. Now you're talking about hobbies and subjects of interest. Suppose you have a hobby of stamp collection, coin collection, where did you pick it up from? You should be ready with that. In case given enough fun, which interest activity you would like to enjoy at a higher level? Of course, if you will get good funds, you would love to do something. So suppose I get good funds, I'd love to create a place for creative experiments, creative ideas, and people doing that. Yes or no? So it depends on person to person. You may be liking, we'll do social interactive exchanges because the way the society is, though populous but breaking into parts, that you want to conduct. Whatever you want to think, you can do that. Then what were the different responsibilities given to you? What were the different? You can tell that. And responsibilities educate you. That educate you a sense of temperament to be complete things. It also makes you more caring. It makes you more planning, organizing, understanding towards each other, right? Then we come down to what made the authorities to select you. You can tell that. And if they didn't select you, why they selected? If they've selected someone else, that doesn't mean that you're a fool. It only means that the person on certain parameters must have been better than you. And why not? Appreciating is accepting. And also working for. If you will say, no sir, that was wrongly selected and this was not this, no, you are cribbing, you are complaining, you will never improve. Except that there are sometimes, some people are more talented, there are some people on some aspects, some people on some aspects. And sometimes it also happens that the other people had some known people, though you were standing parallel, so they selected you. It cannot be that you were ignored every time. It can be once or twice, you can say that. But still, I believe that complaining never helps. It gives a very bad impression in the interview. Because what happens, the interviewer feels, oh my God, this guy is very lethargic, very complaining, very non-ingesting. That's a problem. So here we go. What made the authorities not select you or reject you on basis of? What were the challenges that you faced while discharging them? While you're discharging duties, responsibilities, I mean, hobbies or interests, whatever. Now you will get responsibilities later. Hobbies and interests, you sometimes land up, you are short of material or you are short of time, you are short of some knowledge. All these things do come in your way, but you overcome them, right? So tell that. The responsibility you like best and quality which you like learning. Now, there are asking about even responsibilities. While doing responsibilities as a school captain, there are times people are not listening to us. Then we have to change our colors to manage them. Similarly, you like best, what responsibility you like best? What did you like doing best? Tell that. Which quality you liked learning? Whatever you loved liking, whatever you liked learning it and thereafter applying it, you can tell that. Is it clear? Any doubts? And this can be what quality you like learning, the quality of communicating, the quality of, finding different solutions. These are things which makes you wonderful, doesn't it? The quality of being given responsibility and completing it, the quality of leading people and getting it completed. All these things you learn. You learn from exposure. Nobody was born great. Remember this. Everybody learned greatness on earth. People come up with theories, some people are born great. No, nobody was born. I practically, if you talk, I don't believe in those mythology of great birth. I believe in mythology of great working, great exposure. Yes, some people were blessed by great companies in the earlier times. So they blossomed to a great personality. There are some people who were brought in different situations, but they observed and they learned the practicalities of life and then they became smart. Fine. That is the way it is. Actually, it is like this. When you were born, you were not speaking. You learned speaking with the help of your parents and later on the school and later on your friends. So nobody is born great. Everybody earns it here. That's practical. That's what I believe. I'm not getting into arguments, but I'm just telling you this is my belief. And I believe that many of you will believe like I believe. Anyway, let's go further. We come down to question number 139. This is rapid fire 4. Please tell about your family. Now here they give you these random questions about your family to pick up the different things which you may otherwise hide. Because they give you in a speed, so many things you blurt out. That is also one of the reasons why they give you rapid fire questions of family. This way, sometimes you blurt out something which you have been hiding otherwise. Suppose you fight a lot with your brother, but you say, no, I don't do it. All that blah, blah you do, and here you land up speaking. So they ask you these questions. But as far as fighting with brother and sisters is concerned, there is nothing wrong. But the issue should not be very long and it should not be very strong. It should be normal things like for eraser or for other things, or sometimes some aspects is okay. You know what's the problem with the world at the present moment? Every one of us are more aware about rights than our duties. We don't want to sow a crop, but we want a good yield in our crops. We want the best of fruits, but we don't want to work for it. That is unfortunate. So, you just have to remember that you have to enjoy yourself. So, similarly, with siblings, you do have small fights, but that's not big. Let's go ahead. Please tell about your family composition. How many people are there? Family composition means 5 people, 6 people, 7 people. You certainly, sometimes nuclear family also has many people, and sometimes it has small people. Sometimes you're living in a joint family, so you can talk about joint family composition. You're allowed. Joint or nuclear family, joint means where it's not only father, it's also uncle or grandfather and plus. So that is nuclear family. Which kind of family composition you like and why? Now look at this question. This question is beautifully hidden here to identify, are you open for cooperation or you like your free space? You want to be living separate. That's it. So they ask you this question. What you like? You should appreciate joint family, because after all, joint family gives you so many hands to work for things. And armed forces is also going to be a joint family for you. You'll be working together. Right? Understood. Now there are some people who have had a joint family and they have a lot of complaints about it because there were some conflicts. I keep it as the forgotten past. Because if you crib, you will never develop. This world is full of lots of troubles. Go on a railway station, go on an airport, or rather airport wouldn't be the right place to tell. But railway station, yes. Bus station, yes. You will get so many stories that you will thank God for whatever you are born with. So here you go. What do you like about the joint family and nuclear family, whatever. Now they will ask you which kind of family composition you like. I told you, you should appreciate joint family because there's nothing wrong with it. And nuclear family also, you can say, because nuclear family teaches you self-dependence, whereas joint family teaches you cooperation. And I think you should, if you are self-dependent and you get cooperation, you can multiply your end product, right? So you can say that. What do you like and dislike? What does your father do? Now they are asking about your father. What does he do? That is what is the kind of work. What do you like and dislike about it? Now look at this. In a rapid fire, they are forcing you to speak on a very fluent way. So you will have to be really smart enough to speak what you really want to speak. Not speak for the sake of speaking. Some people, for the sake of speaking, they say something anti-father, which is they do not really mean. And they'll end up giving a contradictory impression, which they should not. So when they ask you what kind of thing you don't like about your father, you should, naturally you must not be having very negative things, except few things that he gets a little ill at odd times, or whatever, he gets a little angry sometimes because of his responsibility's sake. Other things, these are natural. You know why fathers generally become a little on the agitated side, a little more than the mother, because they are facing the world right from the front. And one who is braving the storm always has little problems than the mother who is sitting behind. If the mother is also standing in front, you will also find that they will also have a different behavior altogether. So remember that should be understood and respected. So you should talk about that. Then what you don't dislike, I always feel nothing much to dislike. Like you must be liking many things: responsibility, cooperation, speaking, Because you are a replica of your parents, right? So you must have liked many things. That is why you copied it. And so you became like this. So you have to give that answer. Then what does your mother do? Now what does your mother do? If she's a housewife, tell about it. If she's working, what she does, you will have to tell that. In case only housewife, wife, so. Now there are many times when girls are educated, but post child delivery, they certainly decide for a number of health reasons and for management of family, they decide to stay back if the family economical condition is good. And why this is more in middle class? This happens basically because we have certain values and ethos which tells us that we should, come on, we should take care of the family also. It's not about money, 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 money. Isn't it? So that happens. We tell that. It was a mutual decision. You can do that. In case your mother is well educated and working, you can tell about that also. It was that my father had managed well, so she got all the opportunity and both of them gelled well and did it. No issues. Also tell about your siblings. Siblings mean brother and sisters. Remember, parents are understood as how you will behave with your seniors, and brothers and sisters are how you will behave with your colleagues. So if you are reasonably fine with your siblings, little tips is okay, but most of the time mixing, cooperating with them, that's wonderful. How many they are, you will have to tell. What they do and what you like and dislike about them, you will have to tell that. Your disliking should not be very, what should I say, polar in nature. That means very, very extreme. No, I don't think you should have with your brothers and sisters. You should understand that you are part of the same family and you generally don't have that. So you have to give that answer that you don't have such strong desire. Yes, sometimes the person is like this or whatever the case may be. Like I used to have my elder sisters and they used to boss around me. So I remember that till the class 11th, they were the boss of the houses, but after 11th, once I picked up physical strength, I started living separately and I got learning from the other world. I mean separately in the sense that they went on to colleges. So I learned to live by it. Then I became a little more self-reliant. So I didn't dislike anything about them. At initial stage I felt that they used to boss around, but when later on I grew up, few years down the lane, I realized that they were wonderful support. So this is something which you can give all the time and you should say, it's okay. Having awareness and realization is wonderful. Keep your observation open. Now let's come down to question number 140. This is rapid fire 5. All these rapid fires are mixing up questions of your biodata so beautifully that if you do not practice it well, you will end up giving contradictions. What do you mean by contradictions? In normal questions, you may be giving different answer. In rapid fire, you will be giving a different answer. So my request to all of you here who are serious aspirants to do the rapid fire practice well in short words so that you can be genuinely clear. Are you pretending? No, you are not pretending. You are keeping yourself calm and composed, which only comes with age and experience. You look at a small boy and you'll find him restless. But you look at an elderly person, you will find him very calm. Experience has made him so. So remember this, that there is nothing bad about it. And more responsible, if you have been more responsible and you have done many responsibilities, you have participated in different activities, you must have already evolved into a calm personality. That is the truth. So this happens. Anyway, that is why this rapid fire thing you should practice beforehand. Now we come down to rapid fire. Please tell what about your father likes and dislikes about. Now look at this. All those questions which you must have thought that I will think and answer, they are asking you in rapid fire. Likes and dislikes. Now you certainly about dislikes, you will have a pause. You may not remember anything. You may forego the question. But whatever he likes, you can tell that. Dislikes also, there must be, like you must be breaking some rules of coming late or something, you must be getting annoyed. That's okay. Father can teach us. My father, today when I've lost him, I realize he was a great source of learning. But this is post his death. It's a very late realization, if I call that. But still, I've grown up enough to understand that. But when he was around, he used to always have difference of opinion because we were decades different. We were decades different. And particularly with his orthodox style, we had huge gap of thoughts. He did not accommodate well with the new version. And I'm sure that my version and your version sitting here is a lot different. And if I go back to the ones who are right now in the colleges, lot different. Because the point is that is what is called as generation gap. So we have to accommodate that. Anyway, so what your father likes and dislikes about you, father always, the more orthodox a person is, more principled, more rigid, more disciplined, more routine based, and less experimenting, less adventuring, more stable oriented. That's it. You can tell that. And what he disliked, that you loved experimenting, you liked adventuring out, you tried to learn many things. You can say that. What your mother likes and dislikes about you? Well, your mother is a figure of nutrition, care, protection. Similar, though father is also, but nutrition and care comes into the domain of mother. So whenever you miss meals, your mother must be getting angry with you. Whenever you do not care properly for yourself, some dirty clothes, mother must be, father may not be scolding so much on clothes particularly, but mother would do that. Mother would do in fooding and clothing. Am I right? So that is something which she will dislike if you are not doing it well. Then what your sister likes and dislikes? Sister is a version of friend and mother. So it's a middle version. It's like a Venn diagram where A intersection B is sister. A intersection B means mother and friend. That's it. So you can tell that way. She likes this. And what she dislikes, maybe your pillow fights or something else which you all like, for example, closing the TV and sometimes telling her to guard the house and you ran away to meet your friends. All these kind of small squabbles are natural. Next, what your friend likes and dislikes about you. Now, this I think is a strong statement because friends are someone we choose and they will only dislike something which is extreme. Like many of me as a person dislike friends who are hypocrites. They pretend something but they are something. They deceive. They love to act smart but they are very silly. All these things do happen. Everywhere they are. There are some people who are showy. They are very audacious in a different way. Ostentatious is a better word for their showy nature. They like to, they waste a lot of money. I am not very wasteful, except I am generous in gifts and other things and considerations, but I am not wasteful. I don't waste on myself, but they pamper themselves. But they're very non-cooperatives, the ones I dislike. Very non-cooperative and very dicey, unpredictable. Now, whenever you have such, would you consider them friends? On the long run, they are not, but initially they were. So you can tell about that. What your teacher likes and dislikes about you and what your friends likes and dislike. Now, friend would be liking if you're trustworthy, they would be loving you. And if they dislike you, sometimes you will not be there, joining in every party. Or there may be times when your friends may have said that you are quite straightforward in saying no, or something or the other, whatever you must have experienced. What your teacher likes and dislikes about you. Now, a teacher always likes the kind of obedience and the kind of thing. Sometimes you did mistakes, which was unfortunate, or if you are weak in any subject, like I was weak in Hindi, horrible. And my teacher used to dislike about that in spite of being such a reasonable student, why not Hindi? Then I improved my Hindi to quite a level. And I'm sure if my teacher recalls me with the new shape of face, I'm sure they would appreciate me that I'm reasonably fine with the Hindi as well. Never mind. Now, what your neighbors likes and dislikes about you. Now, neighbors would be liking about your cooperation. I don't think there should be any reason for disliking you. Because when neighbors are not so close that they can term their dislikes also. So you can give all these answers and I'm sure you will do it well. Is it okay? Now we go down to the next question. Question number 141. Rapid fire 6. Please tell what you know about the armed forces. Now look at this. They put the facts mixed in the rapid fire. So now they want to see your attentive power. Earlier it was psychological slips. Now it is your attentive power. They want to check your attentive power, the factual details, how much clearly you remember. The number of headquarters and clarity of mind, the different weapons that they possess and their effectivity. Also tell about how many of them are indigenous. Indigenous means made in India itself, in our own country. How many have been imported? You are getting so many from Sukhoi from Russia, Hawk from UK, Rafale from France. All these things are there. Also tell about where you would be given training and how many different. Now there are many people I found were surprised to find that they did not know where is NDA, and they were going for NDA entries. And there were many who were there for the Air Force and they do not know, like AFCAT entries, they do not know where they are supposed to go. This is sad. There are some people, even SU entries, who are not aware where they will go for training, where, what first and what next. They do not. You should know that. Because if you don't know, that means you are not mindly aware. And if you're not mindly aware, you're not mindly attentive. Not a good officer. Got it? So how many different academies are there? The very first in the ranks. Who is the present head of the three wings? Who is supposed to be the supreme? Right. Now, there's nothing like supreme there, but there's one CDS committee in charge. That is, earlier there was a supreme commander. Now here also they are again talking about the supreme commander. Who is the supreme commander of the armed forces? President. So you'll have to give that. And how many field marshal and air marshal did we have? And who are they? Marshal of the air is the right word, not air marshal. Marshal of the air is, of course, Arjun Singh sir. Late Honorable Arjun Singh sir. Chief Marshal, Field Marshal was, we got to SHFG, late SHFG, Honorable late SHFG Manik Shaw and Honorable late Karyappa sir. So you have to remember that. Why there was a very odd things, I guess somebody asked me. Who was first Field Marshal? Well, yes, it was Manik Shaw, because he was awarded immediately after the Bangladesh war. But later on, seeing the contributions of Indian general, that was K.M. Karyappa, it was given to him also, right, as a supreme commander. Is it clear, not clear? It was later given because he had a lot of respect through the entire world. Rather, he was awarded by different people, right from USA to USSR. That's how it is. Is it clear? Now we go further. Rapid fire 7. Please tell about the city you come from. What is it famous for? Now here they are going to talk about your social observation, your awareness of your surroundings, your awareness of your place. What is it famous for? Wherever you are coming from, suppose you're coming from Delhi, what is it famous for? You come from Calcutta, what is it famous for? And of course, so now Lucknow, many from there. So few of them, one is from Ranchi. What is it famous for? You'll have to tell that. Enumerate the favorite spots. Tell the different places which you feel is wonderful in your city. So keep things crystal clear. Write it in points. You have time, prepare it. So that I don't want you to mug up things, but I want you to keep your mind fresh with the points so that when you speak, you sound wonderful. And if they ask you, did you prepare this? Yes, sir, I just read this, so I did prepare a few points. There's nothing wrong in preparation. Nobody expects you that if I go and meet you in your home, you're going to come out in a raw form of human being. No, I'm not looking at that. I'm looking at a reasonable, presentable person. That's it. I'm not saying over-decorated, but at least reasonable, presentable person is expected. Otherwise, you should not get out of your bedroom. So this is something. Rather, the washroom would be the right word. So when you get out of the washroom, don't you come out in a respectable form? And when you get out of the bedroom, more. And when you get out of your home, more. So you expected that. So don't you feel that preparation is wrong? Preparation is always going to be good and should be done. Now enumerate the favorite spots, the country, the city. In case you become the mayor, what would you do to make the city? Now here they have given you an administrative role, an analytical role. How you would do that, what will you do that? What all things we will do that, when you think. Now, I always believe that whenever you think of improvement, try to grade few points in your back of mind which is related to economical development, industrial development, educational development, public living, behavioral development, and many things, right? Infrastructural development. So you just keep few points in your mind, and I'm sure you will speak well when you will talk as a, in your dreams. I mean, when you will be conceptualizing the role of a mayor and trying to think of it. If you have those pointers, it will help you give a better answer. Do that. Then what are the various industrial outputs and the city's important educational elements along with famous? Now that you remember, yes, your city always has an industrial output. They also have historical outputs. They also have, educational outputs. You are also part of it. So you can tell that. Is it clear? So this is a little short, but again, they're picking up. They've given you short because they've given you some analytical questions. So they made it a little short. 143, now we come down to rapid fire 8. Please tell me about your happiest one. Now, this is a psychological rapid fire. They're rushing you through psychological things. You've already spoken about this, and sometime they'll come down with the rapid fire. If you contradict here, this will become a question mark for your selection, because it will speak against your integrity of personality. Because it will speak that you say something and here you contradict. Don't do that. So, about your happiest moment, you have to tell. Happiest moment is mostly the time when we achieve for the first time or we achieve something good. There's one boy here who's picked up a Vice Chancellor's medal. It's a happy moment, right? It's a good achievement. For a university, picking up the Vice Chancellor's medal is a good moment. Similarly, one of the person has picked up a commendation by one of the senior officer for his work as a junior staff. Recommendation letter, I'm sorry. So, whatever, that thing is wonderful. Then there is a person who's was selected for the national level. So, it's wonderful to be with you. You guys are going to make proud of everyone. So, here, please tell me about your happiest moment. Is it clear? Then they will ask you sad moment. Now, sadness is when you depart with someone. The time when you leave, you get lost and somebody leaves you, it is certainly sad, because that's no turn point. This sadness may have happened with you in terms of some relative who must have passed away. It may be your parents. I lost my mother. That was a very sad moment because that was early, and that was that had a huge impact on my entire life. Similarly, when I was very touchy with my dogs and they used to pass away, it was very sad. I used to never. So these are small issues which you can say. And sometimes you have some friends who accidentally you lost on a accident or something. You can remember and write that. That can be there. Embarrassing moment is when you tend to make a big statement. You become a braggadocio. You become a person who talks over statements, and then you're not able to achieve it. That's wrong. There are some times when people land up, going for an exam for writing chemistry, and they realize it's a physics exam. Lost case, it's embarrassing. Particularly for intelligent. I always believe that people who self-respect themselves, who are responsible, they feel embarrassed. And shameless, never. So remember that. Also tell something that is in your memory that makes you very happy or encourages you. There must be some moments, where really make you happy and encourages you that you have to do it well. That's it. Which thought makes you sad and unhappy? Also the thought that makes you angry. Now there will be some sad which will make you sad and unhappy. I feel certainly sad when I come across people who miss their opportunities because they did not practice a little. And they went in very carelessly. Wonderful people, and landed up giving wrong answers and giving irrelevant answers, and they regret. The very moment they spoke, they regretted. Now that was sad, because if they would have done it well, it would have been wonderful. Now, what makes you angry? Sometimes you see the kind of behavior, the monkey culture, once you get into a jam or other places, and particularly the mixed crowd, many people in a very bad shape. That's wrong. Then did you ever think about committing suicide in case I think we don't have anybody who's thought of it, and hope it is not there. And in case it is, please admit it to me so that I can really console you and get you out of the time. Because armed forces is not going to accept anyone who is so pessimistic in thought process and has thought about suicide. Please do not. Because suicide is something which you should not. You feel fed up with someone, leave the person. Take a stroll. But don't think so. This kind of situation happens mostly with people when you have negative people next to you. Very, very negative, who are very, very obsessive, very, very irritating and extremely negative. Then you feel so. And they can play havoc on your life. Never mind. Let's talk about that later. Also, the thought that makes you angry, that I've told you. Did you ever think about committing suicide? I told you. Did you ever feel like killing someone? That also I don't believe. Except defeating people in the field is a different thing. But killing someone, I'm sure not. Because that goes into extreme. You must have had a rational thought if you got angry that I'm not going to cross the limits. So naturally you must have never thought about killing. Right, so that is something. Did you steal? What and why? Now stealing is something which we learn. We as a small child want everything in our pocket, right? This is human nature. But when we grow up and educate ourselves, we realize, no, we have certain parameters to follow. And sometimes in the middle portion, we do some mistakes. Like we take somebody's toy away, or we do this. That is the time when our parents correct us that it is not done. And then we learn from it. Am I right? I mean, mostly all of you must have. Because I have spent that session and I have understood many of you felt that and you learned from that. Way back in childhood, some people are very early, some people a little late. But certainly by the time they turned into a proper full-grown teenager, they must have got this lesson from the parents. So that's what you're supposed to tell. Eating materials and stealing eatables is little common, but not in excess, I'm sure. You must be. We used to bunk off somebody's fruit, but we used to tell them that, okay, we ate that. Now, if you call it stealing, yes, we did. And if you call it bunking a little eatable, it's okay. Now, anything where you know that it can have a huge repercussion, like you taking somebody's money away and you're going to disturb him mentally, or you're going to take away his mobile or something, that is stealing. That is really a stealing. And you should not have indulged in it. And I'm sure you must. Because see, this world, go for n number of wealth. It's not enough. You at some point of time will realize that you don't have a bigger bucket than the amount of water available on the earth. So similarly, I believe that you will have to discipline your thoughts. And the moment you discipline these thoughts, you will stop thinking of stealing. You'll think of enjoying whatever you have. Do that. Did you lie? When and why? Now, in lying, what really happens is that we tend to have certain aspects of lying. What is lying in there? That is very difficult. What we do is, we lie for the sake of lying. Sometimes we want to hide ourselves. We don't want to be accountable. The worst reason is accountability. Yes, sometimes we lie because we don't want to make someone angry or disturb someone. When it comes to disturb someone or make someone angry, it's okay. But when we do it for running away from accountability, that means we don't want to accept our mistake. That is a negative lie because that will destroy you. So you should be accountable to yourself and not destroy yourself. Is it clear? So these kind of rapid fire answers you have to give and you have to do it fast. That's why I'm having these long sessions. Now we come down to rapid fire 9. Please tell about the places you have visited and what you like about them. Also tell in case not visited, why. In the city, which area you like most and why. Your favorite spots in the city you visit with your friends. Which places you avoid and why. Which are the places you dream to visit and why. Whom would you like to take along with you and why. Now this is about your fantasy side. Also about your observation, your likings. They are liking to identify what kind of thing you like. Everyone has a temperament. Some players love to visit football stadium. Some technical people love to go down to technical places. Some people interested in history love to go down to museums. Some people interested in fun and frolic love to go down to party places. Some people only bothered about limit them introvert a little, they would love to go down to cinema halls. So these are different categories of people. So whatever they are asking, what kind of place you visited, they'll come to know. As I see you all-rounder, I'm sure you must be having variety of thoughts. Sometimes you would like to sit down to visit a marketplace as well as a tourist spot. You would also love to go down to different museum, maybe for that matter. And I think that the mixture makes it a complete personality. So you can tell about the different places you like, what you like, and what did you visit and what did you appreciate. Whenever you go anywhere, so say for a museum in that city, please gather proper details so that when they ask you the next day, where did you go, what did you see, what did you learn, they're looking at your observation power. I repeat, they're looking at your observation power. I repeat, they're looking at your observation power. And what did you capture? It should not be like I just went through, I just came out. And no, I didn't see much. Why did you go there? So if you go there, you should have reasonable knowledge. And your radar should be open for every knowledge you're gathering. That's very important. Is it clear? In the city, which area you like most and why? What do you like most? Tell your favorite spot in the city you visit with your friends. So what are the places which you really visited in? Tell about your friends. Which places you avoid and why? Now there may be few places in the city which you avoid, or you don't like to go there, or it smells bad. Like for example, in Kanpur there are tannery areas. In Delhi near Yamuna, in your other cities like Kerala, you have certain places which are wonderful by these places, but there are certain times when some places are dangerous to go. Particularly night-oid zones, going down to certain areas, that becomes dangerous. And some of the areas also, like you, lately we had that Wayanad issue. It speaks how these these mountains are suffering, particularly because of heavy rains. That's a different area. So you must be forewarned not to go there. So it will be a place you avoid. Which is the place you dream to visit and why? Now you would be dreaming to visit some place which you love a lot. You are a person with action stunts. You'd love to go down to Disneyland, do that roller coaster ride, or go down to any other place where you really feel, maybe Dubai, and see the different places. So what is this? It all speaks about the kind of place, what is the kind of personality you are. Now ask a girl who's very fashionable, none here, not much. But many girls who are very, very fashionable, they would say, I'd like to go and visit Paris. Because Paris has been known for fashions, right? So these kind of things, that is the logic behind us, behind the entire thought process. Whom would you like to take along with you and why? Now this speaks about your liking, disliking. Now see, they talked about your friends, they talked about your family, and now they suddenly want to recheck it. So if you have someone, you want to take your mom along, you want to take your parents along, fine. If you want to go down with your friends because you're going for an adventure trip, fine. But you don't have to deliberately stereotype it. No, I'm going to do only this. No. It's about going out and relaxing. Is it clear? Okay. Now we come down to rapid fire 10. Please tell about why you want to join the armed forces. Now this rapid fire is exploring your psychological domain of why you want to join the armed forces. Look at this, beautifully structured so that they can identify the depth of you. Yes, they have already asked these few questions earlier, but they may repeat it in rapid fire. So why you want to join the armed forces career, they'll come to know. What has been the major source of inspiration? You should be inspired. I think individuals inspire. Your own thought process inspires. Sometimes movies inspire. Sometimes practical exposure inspires. Sometimes living with your family, which is also a defense personnel, inspires. Sometimes comparative study inspires. So there are a number of reasons. So you have to identify that person, event, or any other element. What efforts did you do to join? Now, what efforts did you do to join? You'll have to tell that. Which entries and why? Now you should remember that. You cannot come up with this half homework. You should tell which are the different entries you applied for. If you say, I was right from the childhood, Then if you have not given NDA ever and then you suddenly woke up to the call, then why were you sleeping? It's a possible question. So you should be, if you have said since childhood, then it should be that your NDA should have been your first attempt and many of them would have cleared it, whatever. Or if you missed it in SSB, whatever, you have to tell that differs from individual to individual. What entries, which entry is missed and why, you'll have to give that. In case you are not selected now, then what would you do in case not selected at all? Now, you say, I will try again. Okay, not selected at all. Then what will you do? Then of course, you will not suddenly from becoming an army officer, you won't become a dancing school instructor or something, right? Something more better, it will be something related, Central Police Armed Forces or maybe different paramilitaries or maybe administrative job or maybe joining the police forces. It cannot be certainly one pole to the other. And whenever you give this answer from one pole to the other, the people feel funny for you. They feel you're a very funny person. You are undecided and you don't have clear mind. So you are hopeless case. Remember that. Okay, so now which arms? Why you want to join the armed forces? Which entries and why? Which entries in case you are not selected now, then you're not. Okay, what is your backup plan or second option? That only I have talked about, right? So you should have this planning. You cannot go in there and, sir, this is all what I've thought and I will not think one thing. This is not fair. Where do you think you would be after 5 years from now in all conditions? Now, if you have got selected, in 5 years from now, you would be a captain. If you're not selected, in 5 years from now, you would be either into some good career option for sure, or you would be a lieutenant in case you have been delayed, or you can say that in that case, I would also have completed my higher education and appearing for my competitive exams of higher orders. You can say that. Now, which arms or field you would like to join as your selected option in case you join the armed forces? Now, if you want to join the armed forces, will you join artillery? Will you join armored? Will you join infantry? These are the answers which you'll have to give. So give that. That's it. So there's nothing wrong with this. And I think you've got an idea and prepare this. That's my